Well, despite a stellar, just amazing outing by Ranger Suarez, the Phillies dropped the series opener of this three-game series down in Houston against the Houston Astros and against a very good Houston Astros team. They lost that ball game 1-0. There wasn't much offense between the two teams. There was just a total of that one run and a total of 9 hits between the Phillies and the Astros. Again, the Phillies wasted a great start by Ranger Suarez, arguably his best start of 2025, and he has been very, very impressive this year, just lights out since he's been back from that back injury to start the season. Anyway, welcome into Phillies Daily, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Hennelly. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content right here on Phillies Daily. As I said, Ranger Suarez just incredible last night to open up that series against the Astros. Gave the Phillies a great chance to win, but they just couldn't get the job done. Unfortunately for Ranger Suarez, he made just one mistake in that entire ball game, and it came right there towards the end of the game in the bottom of the 8th inning. He went out there for the 8th inning after going 7 scoreless innings, and he left the pitch right out over the middle of the plate. He definitely did not want to do that, and the Astros capitalized, hit a solo home run to take a 1-0 lead late in the game. And then the Phillies obviously could not score to tie it up or take the lead in their top half of the 9th inning. So they ended up losing that ball game 1-0. Again, wasted a Ranger Suarez, just phenomenal start. It was a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel last night. If you liked that, then you would have loved to watch that game. If you missed it, Ranger Suarez went 7 2/3 innings. He allowed just 4 hits. He had 2 walks. He allowed just that 1 run, and he had 7 strikeouts in those 7 2/3 innings. Framber Valdez, you might remember him back when the Phillies played the Astros in the World Series a few years ago and how good he was against them. Framber Valdez, he was out there to go up against Ranger Suarez in that pitcher's duel last night in Houston. He also went 7 innings, 7 scoreless innings, I should say. He allowed 4 hits. He did have 4 walks. He was a little bit all over the place, had some command issues, especially early on. But obviously, those 0 earned runs, and he had 3 strikeouts in those 7 innings of work. So both pitchers, just phenomenal stuff. It was really entertaining to watch. I mean, today's day and age, usually you like to see offense. That's just, as fans, you like to see the excitement and all that. But every once in a while, it's nice to see a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel like we got to see last night in Houston. Unfortunately, the Phillies were on the wrong side of it and lost that ball game 1-0. The good news is they're right back at it tonight, and they can come back, even up the series 1-1 with a big win down there. As I said, the Phillies could not capitalize on especially on some early opportunities from an offensive standpoint. They just couldn't get Ranger Suarez any breathing room, couldn't get him any run support. They did have a lot of chances early on when Framber Valdez was kind of letting up hits, had some command issues, letting base runners get on base. In the first inning, the Phillies had a runner in scoring position. They didn't score, obviously. In the second inning, they again had a runner in scoring position, didn't score. In the 4th inning, they had runners on second and third with just 1 out. Buddy Kennedy, who just got called up recently, grounded into a fielder's choice. Otto Kemp, also who got called up recently, the rookie, he was thrown out at home for the second out of the inning. And then Johan Rojas came up with 2 outs and runners on, and he couldn't get the job done either. He flew out to end that 4th inning. So again, 3 of the first 4 innings, the Phillies had runners in scoring position. They had opportunities to take an early lead. They couldn't get it done, couldn't get Ranger Suarez breathing room, couldn't, just let him settle in more than he did or he could. He didn't have to be as perfect. If the Phillies could have gotten him some run support, they couldn't do it. And then again, in the 6th inning, the Phillies also had a runner in scoring position and couldn't score, just like earlier in the game. They were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position last night in that 1-0 loss. Obviously, you're not going to win games if you're not scoring runs and you're not capitalizing when the other team is giving you these opportunities. A lineup like the Phillies should be able to at least push home one of those runs with all those chances. Couldn't do it. Hopefully, as I said, they turn it around, get things rolling on offense tonight in Houston, and even up this series 1-1. One of the positive notes from last night, other than Ranger Suarez's strong performance out there on the mound, is Edmundo Sosa. one of the Phillies' top, if not the top bench option. He was starting at second base last night for the Phillies. He went 2 for 3 with a double. He got hit by a pitch there in the ninth inning against the Astros. To build off of that, if you remember on Sunday Night Baseball the other night in that series finale and series clinching win against the New York Mets to take a hold of first place in the National League, Edmundo Sosa had an incredible game. He went 3 for 4 with a 3-run home run in that Sunday night win. He was just a triple shy of the cycle. He's batting .290 to this point in 2025. If you remember, he started the season extremely hot. His batting average was incredible. He was getting multi-hit game after multi-hit game. The Phillies were trying to find ways to get him in the everyday lineup. And then he did cool off in May and June, albeit he did have less opportunities just because he is a bench player. But a .290 batting average. He's had a great game last night, had a great game the night before, or 2 nights before when they played the game before. He is just incredibly hot at the plate right now, and it's great to see because the Phillies definitely need a bench option to step up like Edmundo Sosa has been doing to be able to provide when guys are out of the lineup or when, you need a pinch hitter later in the game to get the job done, to score a run. So hopefully Edmundo Sosa stays hot and keeps going back to how he started the season and more so away from that cold stretch, that little slump that he was in. Now shifting gears, as I've been doing, if you've been following along with Phillies Daily the past few weeks, I've been talking about trade rumors surrounding the Phillies as we near this July 31st trade deadline in just over a month. There's a lot of rumors surrounding the Phillies. Obviously, as one of the top teams in Major League Baseball, they will be buyers at the deadline to shore up their weaknesses for this late season playoff push as we head into the second half of the season after the All-Star break and into the playoffs. The Phillies are not perfect. They have weaknesses. The outfield is a weakness, particularly the left field platoon, center field platoon as well. And then obviously the bullpen has been among the league's worst in 2025. They could definitely use some help. 1, if not 2, quality impact relievers. And one of those guys could be Arizona Diamondbacks veteran Shelby Miller. Shelby Miller, if you remember, he has been around for a long time. He's a 34-year-old. He's a 13-year veteran. He's a right-handed pitcher. He's been a dominant late-inning reliever for the Diamondbacks in 2025, even at his older age at 34 for a MLB pitcher, for an MLB player. That's pretty old. In real-life terms, not very old. But anyway, he is a starter turned reliever. Earlier in his career, he was a starter. He's been pretty much a reliever the past few years. Can be a spot starter here and there, a swingman type of guy if you need him, but he's been solely used as a reliever these days, and he is having a dominant season out of the bullpen, as I said. He has a sub-2 ERA now, 1.97 ERA with 8 holds, 9 saves, including a save last night for the Diamondbacks. He has 35 strikeouts in 32 innings pitched this year in 2025 out of the Diamondbacks bullpen. He's mostly been used in the 8th and 9th innings. As I said, a high leverage late inning reliever, and he's been getting the job done. He's efficient. He's throwing strikes. He's getting swings and misses. It's tough for a guy at his age to be able to have this success, especially out of the bullpen in a late inning high leverage role. But Shelby Miller is doing just that for the Diamondbacks. He is on an expiring contract, which makes him that more of a movable piece for the Diamondbacks and that more of an enticing piece for a team looking for bullpen help. There's not much commitment there. He's an older guy, so you get him. He's having a good season. You get him for the last couple months of the season and into the playoffs to try to help shore up the back end of your weak bullpen like the Phillies. The Diamondbacks could be sellers now. They have been hit with the injury bug, especially in the month of June. Earlier in the month, they lost starting pitcher Corbin Burns for the season, as well as 2 of their relievers to season-ending injuries. Recently, catcher Gabriel Moreno, he was put on the IL with a hand injury. And then the other day as well, pretty much the same time Gabriel Moreno went on the IL, their young outfielder, their 2023 All-Star and National League Rookie of the Year, Corbin Carroll, also landed on the IL with a chip fracture in his wrist. He'll be out for some time. They're hoping sooner. He'll be back sooner rather than later, but who knows, with like a broken bone and all that, it's kind of tricky, especially there in your hand, wrist area. Could be tough to deal with. He could be out for a few weeks. The Diamondbacks currently sit 7.5 games back of first place in the National League West behind the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're in fourth place in that very tough National League West with the Dodgers, Giants, and Padres ahead of them. Obviously, the Rockies are down there in the basement at the bottom dwellers of the division having a horrible season. But the Diamondbacks are still in playoff contention. They're 2.5 games out of an NL wildcard spot as of today. As I said, they could be sellers if they begin to lose some more games, if they begin to fall out of playoff contention as we near this July 31st trade deadline. And these injuries that are stacking up for the Diamondbacks with their starting pitcher, some relievers, and two of their key positional players with their catcher and their former All-Star National League Rookie of the Year outfielder in Corbin Carroll. Something to monitor for the Phillies as we near this deadline. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Phillies Daily. I'm your host, Mike Henley. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Hopefully the Phillies can get back on track tonight against the Astros, even up the series 1-1, and move forward looking for a series win on Thursday afternoon tomorrow against the Astros, back to their winning ways. And as always, go Phils. Thank you guys for watching.